ladies and gentlemen, esteemed viewers at home. Welcome to another edition of Democracy and the Rule of Law, a show where we delve deep into the critical issues of politics, governance, and the rule of law. In today's episode, we'll take a look at the recent hike in fuel price. Of course, families and business operators in the country continue to decry the recent hike in fuel price. Of course, sometime this week, the federal government, announced through the NNPC that the official fuel price, will now be of 800, 900 in some states. So many people have continued, to decry this from 600 to almost 900, representing a 50% increase in the price. Of course, there's a glimmer of hope during when it was announced that the Dangote refinery has started the production in the US. But of course, that glimmer of hope was quickly dashed, and it was announced that NNPC will be the sole supplier or better of Dangote fuel. Of course, so many people have questioned the legality of such monopoly, given the fact that Dangote refinery is a private business, and as such, the government ought not to be the one, be the sole marketer of that product. Of course, so many people, from an economic point of view, have questioned, the need to have a monopoly in the marketing of petrol. They have argued that the monopolistic approach will remove the incidences of demand and supply, which would have benefited, the Nigerian people. So we look at the legality of all of this, and of course, the justification for the increment or the hike in fuel price in today's episode. We have our guests who are already seated in the studio this evening to help us analyze these issues and give us more insights on the justification or otherwise of the hike and the monopoly of the NNPC in the marketing of Dangote fuel. So we'll go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll introduce our guests, and then we'll delve into the issues of today. Stay tuned, we'll be back very shortly. The program Democracy and the Rule of Law. With me on the show this evening is Dr. Frederick Odutola, of course, a journalist, a renowned one for that matter, an author, a lawyer, a publisher, an educationist, and so much more. So I welcome you to the show this evening.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
All right, and he also is Barrister Obiora, of course, a very, very well-known renowned lawyer practicing here in Lagos. Of course, you're always obliged with your presence consistently on this show. Welcome you to this edition.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. I'm glad to be here.
All right. We'll dive into because the topic of today is a very sensitive one. The Nigerian people are almost helpless as it is now, because they have no one to cry to. They feel that the federal government are not sensitive to their plight. Of course, the End Bad Governance protest just concluded, and the response of the federal government, to the call for End Bad Government was to hike fuel price. Of course, which have led, to unimaginable level of inflation. A person has shit to, of course, both families and businesses. So, what do you have to say? Of course, I understand that you are also, you are in the economy, and you can give us a fair assessment of what you feel, concerning the whole situation currently going in the country.
So, thank you very much. My assessment of the situation going on in Nigeria today is that the economy is biting hard on Nigerians. The situation is not getting better. And why is this so? This is because petroleum products, particularly the fuel, is one product that affects so many other things in the economy. What has increment in the pump price of fuel, it triggers increase in transportation, in food items, and so many other things. Now, the challenge is that Nigeria is a country that is blessed by God with these petroleum products, and yet every time there has been this consistent increment in the price of oil, which affects virtually every family in Nigeria. NNPC, established in 1977, was there established for the purpose of, doing exploration, production, distribution and marketing of petroleum products. But we've had this sad tale to tell that out of the 4 main refineries in Nigeria, there is none that is working as of today. And with that situation on ground, Dangote Refinery was established, came on board, and very soon we're expecting, petroleum products from that refinery. But then, NNPC is now going to be the sole marketer of the fuel from Dangote Refinery.
Yeah, but even before we go on to the sole marketing of Dangote Refinery, Dr. Fred, let us get your opinion on this, because of course you know that at the beginning of this administration they announced that the fuel subsidy is gone. I wouldn't know if you're a proponent. Of course, so many people supported that line, and if fuel subsidy is actually gone, it means that the fuel price will be determined by the forces of demand
and
supply. It means that the federal government can no longer regulate or subsidize the price of PMS. So I don't know if you subscribe to the removal of the fuel subsidy.
Well, on a serious note, every Nigerian realizes, because it's not just a matter of supporting it, it's a matter of empirically verifiable evidence that it was scam at its worst. And thanks to Okonjo Iweala, she opened our eyes to it. Now all these people talking of subsidy, they will say they brought fuel and they will just collect money, and it will not. One day she said, let me audit all the fuel they are bringing. And it nearly cost that woman her life. So there is a gang up in the oil sector of Nigeria. So even when they said they removed the subsidy, we were all happy. Everybody wanted to even come in upon the removal of fuel subsidy, because it was a way of siphoning Nigerians' money. But what we had later on is worse, because at the end of the day, the importation was still going on, and then the market was deciding the price of the fuel. But the worst was this week. This week they say, oh, Dangote Refinery is releasing fuel, is even clearer fuel. They won't define it why it is clearer than the rest. And the next thing was, without any announcement, today, NNPC, I bought at NNPC today to top up my fuel V6 vehicle at 855 naira per liter at Maryland. So I spent 44,000 naira topping up fuel. That was an half tank. So it was empty before, 38,500 we fill it. Now after was 44,000 naira plus. Today, this morning.
All right. Should the government be worried? Because of course the constitution, the primary function of the government is protection of life, the welfare of the
people. Yes.
Of course, when people cannot fit, is it not a derogation of that right? And a government who obviously do not take the welfare.
I quite believe that the government is testing waters, because already it's not, nobody's going to take it lying down. Even the current president of NBA has spoken that no, they should go back to the original price. Because the main thing is there's communication breakdown. Nobody's communicating to you. You just wake up and nobody runs government that way. You don't just wake up one day, they just slap us left to right and center. You just wake up one morning and you just realize that your fuel is going for 1,000 naira per liter. Somebody was even bold to even tell me, dog, don't waste your time. It will go to 1,250 and finally stop at 1,400. And I said, what's really going on? That's not even the problem alone now. Apart from the problem of fuel increasing price, you cannot even buy fuel into your generator because you have to carry the generator to the fuel filling station because of those boys selling fuel in jerrycan, but all the same they still have to sell in jerrycan. So how did they get it in jerrycan? So the real people who want to use fuel for a generator where there is, this lopsided supply of electricity, that problem. So how do you carry 10 kVA generator petrol to a petrol station? Not the tank, the generator itself. So it's like the government is nonchalant. It's not the welfare. What they're supposed to protect under the constitution of Nigeria is abandoned. So there's egocentric philosophy in governance, overspending in governance. So the common man has been suffering. Now the rich also cry.
Okay. So by the way, let us look at it from the constitutional angle.
Yes.
Because a government is holding every position of leadership in trust on behalf of the people.
Yes.
Of the people.
Yes.
It's because the way the attitude of governance in the country is seen as if there is no duty owed to the people. Because if the welfare of the people is actually enshrined in the constitution, and those in leadership, have been tasked with protecting that welfare. And for that welfare, it includes that people should be consulted before critical decisions that concern them are taken. But we don't see all of this happening. It's just one way to go. What are the constitutional remedies, for the people who have been trusted? Of course, this should be go to law of trust now. I think
well, the first thing is clear. The point is well made that the essence of governance, the main reason why people came together to have someone who is their leader, and then they entrust power to that person, is the welfare of the masses, the general good. And that is why they say that the welfare of the people is the supreme law. Now, the essence of government in the first place is to have policies that guarantee the safety of the people, the welfare of their people, and their well-being and their development. Now, when we look at these things, the Constitution has made provisions for these things, even though most of them are codified in Chapter 2 of the Constitution. The fundamental objectives and directive principles of government. The fundamental objective of government is the welfare of the masses. Even though that section is not justiciable, but there are some other sections that we can use to hold the government accountable. Let's look at the Nigerian situation. Primarily, safety is number one. But the rate at which killings, kidnappings, banditry go on in this country makes one to have nightmares. The reports are mind-boggling. There's no week, no day that goes without one report or the other that bandits, terrorists, and herdsmen have kidnapped, have killed, and so on, even to yesterday. Coming to the issue of welfare, we have witnessed such high rates of hardship that appears unprecedented. I've never witnessed any form of protest that was anchored on hunger and hardship. The one place not right now. Now the question is this government really constituting the welfare of the masses as a constitutional mandate, as a duty? Because that is what it is actually. If the masses are not safe, and if people are suffering to the point that some are committing suicide, then there is need for us to tell those who were put there in power that they should forget about the sycophants, the praise singers, that are telling those in the power that they are the best thing that have ever happened to this nation. And they listen to the masses. There is hardship in the land. And this is not the right time to talk about increment in fuel price. Because personally, I bought fuel 1,100 naira 4 days ago. Yesterday, I bought at 885 naira. Then I was even lucky because some people lined up in a very long queue they couldn't get. So yesterday when I saw where they were selling 885, I bought. The other day I bought 1,100 per liter. And that is no good for our economy. That is no good for anybody in this country.
The problem is multifaceted now. With this increasing price, there is now increase in cost of public transportation.
Of course.
Now, tomorrow in Lagos State, students will resume, and then parents should be expecting hike in transport charges on the students. So it's coming back to every Nigerian citizen now. The school fees will increase because the rent generator, the teachers too are also going by public transport. Those who don't have cars. So at the end of the day, it's one man that will feel the whole thing, the whole heaviness of the whole thing is affecting the poor common man. So as it is, talking about constitution, I think forget about the constitution. We don't have a constitution. I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm a lawyer. I'm sorry to tell you that. Because when you see we the people, who are we the people? It is not we the people. It is the soldiers who did the constitution of 1999. And I named it in of amendments. Let us go to the drawing board. Number two, when we talk about those we put in place, look, who are they representing?
They're representing you.
They're representing themselves. The state house of rep, the federal house of rep, is what they call them representatives. They're supposed to represent ordinary man on the road. But now that if you see the cost of governance in Nigeria, in fact that's what is Nigeria, the cost of governance is too high.
Yeah, well, that is where I want to go because the Senate have consistently told the people to tighten their belts.
Why they are on their own bed to get more space to be fat, or fatter.
That, of course, 19 million was used to be resident private have been purchased. Billions of cars have been purchased from those in the National Assembly. In fact, the president recently unveiled a state-of-the-art state car Escalade. Latest, the one that is used by the American president. We're using Mercedes before, but yeah, upgraded it. So all of this optic gives the impression that there is money.
So it concludes to, it points to the fact that we are operating animal farm in Nigeria now. George Orwell Animals Farm. All animals are equal. Then we added, but some are more equal than the others. On the serious note, that's the state where we are in Nigeria.
You mentioned that number. It reminds me on one of the lines, when the pigs eventually took over, and they said that they drank the milk, in order to be healthy, so that they can administer the animal properly. That their health is of paramount importance. I think that's what is happening.
The satire is now playing itself in Nigeria. Because look at it. I look at myself. I saw the Mercedes Jeep on Wednesday at 868 naira from above quarter tank, 72,990. I screenshot it, send it to my people that look, my job is now on office touch. Anybody wants to see my face, let's go to video chat. So I don't know how your face. I'm not going to visit anybody if there's not going to be money coming out of it. Number one. Number two, if you are a pensioner and you're on a pension of 15,000 naira a month, so what are you going to do? So if I can fill a tank, top it up at 72,090, so what are we talking about? So I just pity.
That is more than the minimum wage.
That's what the minimum wage, 72,990. And if I run that car in 1 week, it will be over. So you're telling me that in a month, I need 300,000 naira to fuel my car, ordinary car. But not bulletproof, not in ordinary car. So what we're saying that, look, there's the upper class, the middle class, and then the peasants. Now they are canceling the middle class. You are either up there stealing money, or you are down there not be reckoned with.
Okay, yes. So what is the role of the civil society? So of course, you did mention that the NBS has something to say about this. What are the role of the lawyers, the civil society in holding government accountable?
Well, over time, we've had a past where the civil society group had cause to come out and hold the government accountable through protests and other things. But you know, these days, perhaps maybe because of prolonged hardship, we don't see much of that anymore. But then I still believe that there's a way out of what is going this country today. My own take on this is number one. If you look at the structure of the NNPC, the Minister for Petroleum is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, president. Who is that? The Minister of Petroleum today. Now he is acting in two capacities, one as president and then one as the Minister of Petroleum.
Well, Buhari was also the minister.
Yes, Vice
What
President.
I'm saying is that
President.
there is need for that position of minister to be given to someone else. That's one. Two, NPC should concentrate on its functions, one of which is to ensure that the refineries are all working. They've given us assurances that by December last year, whatever the refinery was putting up and going to be working and so on, the refineries are not working. And I believe there is something somewhere. Why are the refineries not working? Nigeria is the only country in the world where there is
Oil production and the refinery
are not working. If the refineries are working, nobody will talk about it, fuel subsidy or no subsidy. It will not exist because we get these goods, we refine them there, we even export. Then what do? We export our goods to oil. And then to refine the other refineries over in other countries, and then we buy them at exorbitant rates. What should that be? When we have refineries in place. Yeah. Now, the NNPC should go back to the drawing board and ensure that refineries are working again. There are Nigerians in some parts of this country, some of them in Port Harcourt, in Niger Delta, and other places. They do this refining of crude oil in smaller scale. Our law enforcement agencies go after them, now arrest them, destroy their instruments, and equipment, and so on. But these people are doing what NNPC can.
Somebody sent a clip to me, says the government is arresting those operating in legal refineries while the legal refineries are not functional.
Yes.
For that sake, if they are doing it and you see that they are refining it, what prevents you from saying, come, if you can do petty, and then there's trading.
Yes.
Let there be a downstream that will say, okay, let us give this one petty license and
regulate them.
Regulate them.
That is important.
But, you know, on the serious note, the case, my colleague does mention something now.
Yes.
The saboteurs will not make our refineries work in Nigeria.
Now, those that can refine at their own level, at smaller levels, let government easily hunting them down, arresting the instruments and equipment. Let government give them license, regulate them, and let them be refined. Remember, there was a time when telephone was very difficult to get. To get the telephone
line.
Now, a telephone line.
The line was 20,000 naira in 2000 when it first came. The line, the line alone.
Even
the SIM card is now 1,500.
it was only government agency that was giving a Nitel line. That time, yes, you need to wait for donkey years and so on. Then today, people beg you to come and collect a free SIM card. Now, when NNPC was commercialized, people felt there will be changes. I've not seen any real serious changes as far as NNPC is concerned. Because the same set of people that are there, it's just changing the nomenclature, the name, NNPC Limited. It's the same people, the same operators, and so on. Now, there are people, give them opportunity. Just like they allowed other people to get into the telecommunications industry. That's why you have different things, and it's easy to communicate. You see the transformation. That could still be done in the petroleum industry, in the oil industry, in a very short time. You know, there are people that can refine this crude oil. There are people. Okay. But the government agencies will go after them. Why should that be?
All right, my brother, even beyond refining, of course, so many people argue that the issue is beyond refining and the attitude.
Availability of the crude, where is this?
The attitude of government.
Wait, don't go further, sir. Do you know that Dangote at the point in time had to import crude to refine?
Yes.
Yes, I'm coming.
Because the news having that our crude has been sold up front till 2025. Who does that? On whose authority? Who sold? Where's the money for the selling? That's why they can increase the salary and allowances of House of Rep and National Assembly. It's just like keep your mouth shut. When you're eating, you don't talk.
Yeah, because that is why all of these issues are well known to these people in power.
Yes.
So the fact that they do not want to take this route, they do not want the refineries to work, begs the question whether they understand, even at first, what the duties of a government, an elected government official is to the people. And that is why I feel it's important, for you to educate. Perhaps they do not understand that their primary duty is to make lives better for the people. Because if they can sabotage some of these critical areas, of course, refinery, we are even seeing the Dangote refinery is coming on stream. Of course, we've been talking about the refinery is not coming on stream. Dangote refinery is coming on stream, and the NNPC have gone ahead, to make themselves the sole distributor of Dangote.
Which is not acceptable.
So that
they didn't hear of the fire incidents in Dangote refinery. The fire incidents, a part of the place burning
recently.
Oh yes, it's part of the sabotage. The saboteurs are angry that this man is going to take food off their table. It was curtailed. Fire in the refinery. They were shocked. People, by God's grace, Nigeria will work, but God has to get rid of all these saboteurs, all these vultures because for God's sake, how can we be suffering in the midst of plenty? Somebody is not comparing price of fuel in England, fuel in America. I said, is this one normal? What's the earning power in England? What's the earning power in America? What's the earning power in Nigeria? So you don't just go. It is not something you can say you are analyzing, because it's a far cry. 70,000 naira, minimum wage. So 70,000 minimum wage cannot buy after into my car. If the whole money is to buy fuel,
that's less than $80.
That's less than $80. $100 is 165,000. So that's about $50.
That's about $50.
$50 a month. Salary for a month. So there's no comparison there. So as it is, even Dangote Refinery is just playing the ball now. It's not that he's happy with what is happening, but has to play. And another thing about Dangote Refinery is that eventually when it's operational and other refineries are not working, we still stay in monopoly. And any business, monopoly is not the for any organization.
Okay,